John Jacob Astor. I want to give you a picture of one of the first people that I have found in public records who somehow intuitively figured this stuff out. John Jacob Astor came from Germany, and he started a fur trading business that was doing actually pretty good in the United States. And as he grew, in the first correction of American history, he set his eyes on New York. And he said, you know what, that place is going to be something one day. And while the market is going down and everybody's running, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take some of this cash that I have and I'm going to start going out there. I'm going to start buying tracts of land. And he started converting those tracts of land into cash flow by talking to big companies and firms and partnering up. He didn't sell the land. He gave them an opportunity to use the land for whatever purposes they had. Fast forward to the next real estate cycle in the 30s. He realized that he had made so much wealth through the real estate by using these strategies that he decided to sell 100% of his fur trading business. It was about $250,000 of cash, which today, I mean, that's nothing. However, back then, that's quite a bit of money, folks. He had built a pretty good empire. But here's what's even more interesting. Almost 35 years later, actually all the way up to his death, he took those $250,000 and he invested in real estate. And he amassed an empire of over $20 million in net worth with just $250,000. Folks, think about these numbers. If you were to go back, it represented 0.93% of the gross national product, as we checked, right, Sam? We were like, what? What is that? The gross national product, it represented almost 1%. Think about that, folks. What does that mean today? Then 2010, was it that we did that, Sam? 10 or 11? That would have brought him to a net worth of over $100 billion in today's time. Visualize that, folks. This guy built serious wealth, implementing the right strategies and intuitively looking at the trends and the cycles. Now, I'm not promising you that you're going to become John Jacob Astor, right? But what I am telling you is, does it not pay to be wise and prudent about your investments? Absolutely. Now, for those who may not recognize him or know him, I'm pretty certain you're aware of the Waldorf Astoria. Yeah. A couple unique facts, I'm not sure if you guys knew, but they actually started the room service trend, where they brought food to your door. This obviously, I think it was his nephew, was it, Sam? I can't remember now, who died in the Titanic. And just recently, 2014, that asset was sold for $1.95 billion to a Chinese insurance company. The largest sale of a hotel in the history of the hotel industry. Look at the legacy that this man left behind, not for him, but the generations ahead of him. You with me? Real estate investments, if done correctly, can leave a legacy for your children's children. And to be honest with you, I'm not nearly as excited about my life right now as I am excited about leaving something so that my kids can pass something on. That's my goal. And we'll talk more about that later. Well, here's the reality, okay? The reason why I use this as an example is just so that you see the type of asset that this guy was able to amass in such a prime location at the time that he saw vision when there was nothing. And not only was there nothing, but the market had collapsed. So you ask yourself, why would a guy who has a successful business trading fur, why would he sell everything he has to then jump on the real estate wagon full time into a market that's not developed, by the way, in the crash? That's what's interesting, is the fact that he didn't write a book, unfortunately, that we could now go and get ideas from him, get the history of how it went. But you look at that and you connect the dots and you start saying, my goodness, I mean, this guy, every time that he went out there, it was the perfect timing. When everybody else was running away from the opportunities, he was running to those opportunities.